Welcome back to Strawberry Ink. Today we turn the clock back to the year 1901, a year that shocked the United States, shattered a presidency, and tested the soul of a nation. This is a story of the assassination of President William McKinley and the swift, brutal justice that followed. William McKinley was not just the 25th President of the United States. He was a son of Ohio, a former governor and a longtime representative in Congress. Known for his steady hand and warm demeanor, McKinley led the nation through war and into a new century. But that new century would soon be stained with tragedy. On September 6, 1901, during a visit to the Pan-American Exposition in Buffalo, New York, President McKinley stood in the Temple of Music, smiling and shaking hands with the public. It was a warm day, and the president was in good spirits. That's when Leon Czolgosz, a 28-year-old self-proclaimed anarchist, stepped forward. Concealed beneath a handkerchief, he raised a revolver and fired 2 shots into McKinley's abdomen at close range. The president staggered, then collapsed into the arms of his aides. At first, McKinley was treated at a temporary facility on the exposition grounds. The Exposition Hospital, that's what it was called. There, doctors performed emergency surgery. It is in Buffalo. Afterward, he was moved to a nearby Melbourne house, the residence of the exposition's president, John Milburn. For days, there was hope. His pulse improved, his spirits lifted, but inside his body, the infection had already taken hold. On September 14th, 1901, 8 days after the shooting, and by the way, my brother was born on the 14th, but many years later, President McKinley succumbed to gangrene caused by the bullet wounds. He died that day. His last words were, "It is God's way, His will be done." Leon was arrested on the spot, immediately tackled by bystanders and security after the shots ran out. He was first taken to the Buffalo police station, then transferred over to the Fort Porter military installation for his own protection. The public was furious. There were threats of lynching. Leon remained silent, sullen, and unrepentant. On September 16th, 1901, just days after McKinley died, Leon was arraigned in the Erie County Courthouse before Judge Charles Emery. He was charged with first-degree murder. When asked for a plea, he said nothing. Therefore, the judge entered a plea of not guilty for him. The judge also appointed 2 public defense attorneys to represent him. Robert Titus, who was a former federal DA and New York State Supreme Court Justice as well. He worked those 2 jobs, working as a public defender for retirement. And the other appointed defender was Lauren Lewis Jr., the son of a prosecutor. That prosecutor was working this case as a prosecutor. It was Lauren Lewis, his dad, who once worked as a judge and was now retired, working as a state's attorney, or as I should say, Commonwealth attorney. Erie County District Attorney Thomas Penny, who charged Leon, would assist in the prosecution as well. Another prosecutor was Assistant DA James Clark. Judge Emery ordered that Leon remain in custody until trial. He was sent to the Erie County Jail. The trial of Leon began on September 23rd, 1901, and it lasted just 2 days. Despite the defense efforts, Leon refused to cooperate. He did not claim insanity, and no meaningful defense was mounted. A jury of 12 members and 2 alternates deliberated for less than 30 minutes before finding him guilty. On September 26, Judge Truman White formally sentenced him to death by electrocution at the Auburn State Prison. On October 29th, 1901, just 2 days before Halloween, Leon was led to the electric chair. There, his execution was carried out. He was pronounced dead at 7:14 a.m. Back then, there was not a strong appellate branch to help modify sentences or toss verdicts. His family refused to claim his body because they had been receiving threats from the public, and officials feared mob violence or public desecration. Leon was buried inside the prison walls in an unmarked grave. His clothing was burnt, and sulfuric acid was poured into the coffin to hasten decomposition and prevent future tampering. Before burial, an autopsy confirmed he had no signs of mental illness. There were no mourners, no gravestone, and no ceremony. He was erased from the world as quickly as he had shocked it. While Leon faded into obscurity, the nation came together to grieve President McKinley. On the day of the arraignment, on September 16, 1901, McKinley's body was laid to rest in the state at Buffalo City Hall before being transported to Washington, D.C. There, on September 17th, he became the third president to lie in state at the Capitol Rotunda following the murders of President Lincoln and Garfield. Thousands passed by his casket. President Theodore Roosevelt, newly sworn in, joined Congress, Supreme Court justices, foreign dignitaries, and ordinary Americans in paying tribute. McKinley was then taken from his hometown of Canton, Ohio, where services were held on September 18th and 19th at the First Methodist Church. Over 50,000 people lined the streets to witness the procession. Reverend Manchester delivered a moving eulogy honoring McKinley's Christian faith, character, and dignity in death. The nation stopped, businesses closed, church bells rang out across America, schools held memorials, and the country mourned together. In 1907, McKinley was laid to rest in a grand memorial, the McKinley National Memorial, a testament to his legacy and the country's love. William McKinley's death marked the end of a certain American innocence, a time before anarchists with revolvers made it into a president's reception line. Both out of the darkness came something new. His successor, Theodore Roosevelt, who had been working as his vice president, would usher a progressive age. But McKinley's memory endured as a man of calm leadership, deep faith, and steady patriotism. As for Leon, his history has given him only silence. Thank you for listening to Strawberry Ink. Until next time, stay informed, stay aware, and never stop seeking the story beneath the headlines. Have a good rest of your day.